98462's relentless taunting towards Edward showed no end, much to the disapproval of the other engines. Though he couldn't care less, and kept on taking Edward's jobs as often as he could, leaving Edward very depressed. It didn't help one morning that he was feeling unwell as he tried to work around the yard. "What did I tell you?" sniffed 98462. "A pathetic excuse for an engine. Why keep him around when all he does is get in the way?" Thomas had had enough. "Edward helped build these rails that you're standing on," he fumed. "Without him, none of us would be standing here, including yourself." "He's a thing of the past," 98462 interjected, determined to make himself brutally clear. "Us bigger engines are faster, stronger, and more up to date than that old iron." And he steamed away, leaving the others speechless. Edward sighed. He decided it was time to take a stand against 98462, but he didn't know how. The next morning, Edward woke up earlier than usual to collect his coaches, in an attempt to make it to the platform before 98462. The yard was silent. Edward was sure he had beaten him. "And just what," said a voice suddenly, "do you think you're doing?" 98462 puffed up quickly alongside Edward. Edward, in shock, tried to sound as firm as he could. "Collecting my coaches for my passenger train," he said. "I don't think so," growled 98462. "The place for old scrap irons like you is in the sheds, where you can be waiting to be sent away. Or better yet, scrapped. Now, kindly move yourself away from my coaches." Edward, in a depressed state of defeat, did so. "And just what do you think you are doing?" bellowed a familiar voice. The fat director strode down from the signal box. He had seen everything. "I will not stand for this behaviour," he said crossly, "given fellow workers have informed me about your treatment towards fellow engines. Furthermore, I've had several passenger complaints about uncomfortable journeys and being taken to the wrong stations." 98462's face went pale. "Engines on my railway," the fat director went on, "work hard and help others. You have shown very little consideration in doing either of those things. Having brought you here on trial, it's clear from my point of view you are unfit for my railway. You shall go back home to the other railway tonight. But until then, you shall return to the shed at once." 98462 couldn't muster up a response. He glared at Edward as he sulked back to the sheds. The fat director turned to Edward. "You are one of my engines, Edward," he began, "and you must understand this. You might not think so, but you are not alone on this railway. If you need to talk, or you have any other problems, you must come and see me right away. Understand?" Edward could see from the smile on the fat director's face that he had been told everything. He looked across the yard and saw Henry and Thomas smiling back. "Now," finished the fat director, "you have a train to pull. Afterwards, I would like you to have a long rest." "Oh, thank you ever so much, sir," sighed Edward. And as he set off, he felt his position on the railway secure, and had no more troubles from then on. That was until Gordon. But I shan't say any more, or I shall spoil the next story.